much since I've started the video, so I'm a little shook. But I'm Dominic. Take one, I'm gonna be going over the production possibilities frontier. And I broke out the whiteboard because there's a lot of important stuff to go over. So the cool thing about the production possibility frontier and why I selected it is because it goes over a lot of or pretty much all the core concepts we've learned so far in the unit. So it's just a graphical representation of all of these concepts right here. Scarcity, right? There's only so many resources for us to allocate, and we have to learn how to budget those efficiently, right? So are we maximizing our resources? So imagine if I have my line right here connecting from, what is this? Like point, I'm not gonna draw an even line at all. Boom, that's kind of cool. So everything in this area is an under allocation of our resources. We're not an under allocation, but like we're not using our resources as effectively as we could be in comparison to us being on the actual line itself. That's like actual efficient use of our resources, right? Anything on this line means that in terms of the opportunity cost, right? If I'm gonna sacrifice something over here to make something over here, if I'm gonna lean more in this direction, then I would rather be on the line than not on the line. And then everything over here is not impossible, but it just means that with the resources that we have right now, we can't go in this direction. The only way we can go to any point in this direction is through economic growth, right? So if we have more resources available to us, that's the only way that we're gonna be able to move in this direction. And then the only other thing like that's technical to cover is the shapes. You guys can't see anything. The shapes. So there's it says in my horrible handwriting, it says straight line and concave. So a straight line shape, or I guess a straight line of the production possibilities frontier, just means that resources are equally balanced. So we have an equal amount of these resources versus these resources. So no matter which way we lean, it's not like there's a clear disadvantage. Versus a concave means that instead of the line looking like that, it looks more like this or something like that. Meaning that there's an uneven distribution of resources, right? So yeah, if I were to use an informal example, because that's like what the assignment asked for, I love basketball, and this is an important concept in basketball because when it comes to half court offense, besides free throws, there's only two ways to score, right? You can either shoot threes or you can shoot twos. And the scarcity in this instance is the amount of possessions that you have, right? So there's a time constraint in basketball. You only have 4 quarters to do as much as you can do. And over the course of the season, you get these averages that each team gets about, let's say, 100 possessions a game. I don't know how far off that actually is from reality, but you have, let's say, 100 possessions in a game, and you have the choice to either ideally get a bucket on any given possession, not counting or I guess you have to count the possessions where you turn the ball over or you take an attempt but you don't score. But let's just say attempts at making a basket. You can either shoot a 3 or you can shoot a 2, which is a layup or anything inside of the 3-point line. So as a team, you have to weigh your opportunity costs. Am I going to take a 3 that has a lower percentage of going in because it's further from the basket, but I get 1 more point per possession whenever I make a 3? Or should I take higher percentage opportunities that aren't worth as much, but I have a higher probability of making them if I get that opportunity? And then the efficiency basically has to do with how proficient your personnel is at taking advantage of these opportunities. So if I have a team that can shoot three efficiently, then, you know, my curve might be skewed a little more in this direction. Obviously, any team can get twos, but it just depends on like what your team is best at and how you want to balance that out. And then economic growth would have to be your roster improving. So if you have a team that's better at defense, so your defensive possessions are going by quicker, then you may be able to play a faster game, and this curve starts to go out a little bit more. This means you have more possessions, you have more opportunity to get one or the other. So yeah, I don't want to take up all the space, but that's it.